So Talia, welcome to counseling. My name's Claire. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Before we get started, I wanted to go over a couple of things with you.
Okay.
Whatever you say in these sessions are confidential. The only time that I would need to report anything that you say in here would be if you indicate that you're going to harm yourself or harm others. Then I would need to report it to the authorities. Okay, so as long as we're clear. Anything else you say in here is fully acceptable. That will stay in this room. It's a safe environment for you. If you'd like to move anything around to make you more comfortable, that's fine. If you'd like to move your chair, it's completely up to you. This is your space. Okay? So a little bit about me. My name's Claire, and I am a marriage and family counseling student, and I'm 25 years old. I did my undergrad at the University of Florida, and I've been at Argosy for the past year and a half. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I am a newer student. It's been 10 years since my undergrad, Valdosta State University in Georgia. I am a diehard Gator fan, born and raised in Gainesville, so
Awesome.
it's in my blood. I am back in school for the mental health counseling program, so I'm really excited. I feel like at the moment it's a little overwhelming just because it just started and I have so many other issues going on right now. So that's kind of why I'm here.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? What made you come back to school 10 years later?
I decided it was time to do things for myself and kind of not be put on the back burner and be the one in a relationship supporting.
Okay.
So,
can you tell me what those 10 years were like a little more in detail before you came back to school?
Well, after I graduated from Valdosta, from that point to this point, I moved 7 times. I met my soon-to-be ex-spouse in college, but we were only friends. We had mutual friends, and we ended up getting back together 5 years ago. 3 years ago, we got married, and so now I think my time is up with that. So that's been the last 5 years, and it brought me to Tampa. So I've been here for 2 years, and I really enjoy it, but I think there's something else waiting for me.
Okay. Can you tell me what you like to do for fun?
I like to eat. I like to cook. I like to spend time outdoors. I love volleyball. I like to lay around at midnight and watch reality television. I like to spend time with friends and family. I'm very family-oriented. I have a really good support system, so I try to utilize them as much as possible.
Okay. What does a typical day look like for you?
I wake up pretty early, decent time, 7 or 8. Have my coffee. I watch the news, hang out with my dog, go to the gym. Lately, I've been packing and catching up on homework, and I may, go grab a beer or two with some friends. Nothing major. Just trying to get settled in a new place.
Okay. And what do you do for work?
I am a systems consultant. So I do database administration, which is just maintenance and monitoring of specific databases, whether it's with university or hospital, or just maintain their overall, how do I put it in layman's terms? It's their information, their protocol, their backup, all the things that are kind of behind the scenes. So it's pretty boring. but it pays well, so.
Okay, not all bad.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what your life has been like since you and your spouse decided to part ways? What does that look like now?
Sad. It's sad. Mainly because I'm the one that wanted a divorce. And so on one end I feel selfish, but then on another end, if I were to stay in the marriage, I would feel selfish because I feel like I can not provide, for my spouse because it's not really the life that I'm looking to continue. So it's sad. It's disheartening and tough. Every day. We don't communicate probably like we should.
Let's stop.
Just skip it.
Skip this version.
What does it say?
Java, do we need it?
Probably not.
Skip it.
Yeah, just skip it.
The green light's still on.
How do you go back to it?
I don't know.
You see down underneath right here. Yeah, we're still going.
Okay.
Pause. Oh, we're still on. Hey. Okay.
Yeah, what does it look like? Yeah, sad. Sad. We don't communicate the way we probably should be because there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of resentment, there's, still individual battles sometimes.
Okay. Can you tell me what the communication looks like when you do have a conversation with your soon-to-be ex-spouse?
It's uncomfortable because I feel like I'm completely shut down, shut out. My wall is up. I kind of have that I'm done, attitude. And I think that's what makes it tough because she wants to communicate and I feel like we've already said what needs to be said and we just keep rehashing the same stuff. And it's like not getting us anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I definitely find myself with a wall up, and I guess it makes it to where I don't want to listen, so it's not good.
Okay. Do you feel that with the separation, do you feel like you're getting everything that you would hope for, or do you think that's going to take some time for you to work on?
I feel like I'm getting what I hope for only because I'm demanding it. I find myself wanting her acceptance, but I understand that the only thing she can give me right now is understanding because she's still in her stages. She went through denial and now I guess she just has to wrap her mind around it and realize that it is what it is. But I think now that I'm going forward with the move and school and the actual divorce, I think I'm getting out of it what I would like, Okay. And it's unfortunate, but yeah, I guess that's that whole am I being selfish kind of
Right.
attitude.
Do you feel that making the decision to come back to school was influenced by your divorce, or would you say that your divorce was influenced by school? Which one came first?
Definitely the divorce. I mean, I had the idea of separation probably about 2 years ago. So, kind of after that whole honeymoon phase. It's tough. I got the type of marriage that we're in. It's tough. But I think my decision to go back to school wasn't necessarily influenced specifically by the divorce, but more so by me wanting my individualism back. What I felt like I lost when we got together, because it was fast. Everything was so fast. You know, we dated for 3 months, then we had a commitment ceremony, and then we got engaged, and then we got married. You know, within the first year and a half of us being together. So I felt like there was a lot of me that I allowed to be lost or put on the back burner. So I think my decision to come back to school was based on wanting that individualism back.
Would it be fair to say that you might have put yourself on hold for your marriage and now you're taking that back?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that you might hold your partner partially responsible for that, and that might be why you're leaning towards a divorce?
Yes. I mean, there's other aspects, but yes. Yeah. And I think that's where that resentment comes from. You know, because I you know, settled. I was comfortable, you know, in my wifely role, you know, taking care of the house and her all the time. You know, I guess I just got tired of it, fed up, I guess.
Okay. Can you tell me how your families feel about your marriage?
Our families are, you know, like I said, have a great support system. My parents, I mean, it's funny, but, you know, my parents say they feel I may have gotten married because it was the best thing for me at that time in my life, because I was going through stuff, just personal, you know, life, and it was a positive outlook, and so I felt like I gravitated towards wanting to be someone's wife, someone's support system, to take care of someone, you know, like I was being taken care of. So my family understood why I got married, but they also understand why it is that I'm getting divorced. So my family is very accepting. You know, they've got my back 100%. Her family, she's military, and she really only has her dad and her grandmother. So I would consider her friends a part of her family, and she doesn't communicate. So none of her friends really knew what was going on. And so now that all of this is happening, it's like they're taking her back. And, you know, they have, I guess, what's best for her, and, you know, in heart and in mind, but I feel like it's kind of unfair. But, so our family aspects are completely different. But I have a great support system, and I'm sad because she doesn't have that. So she kind of gravitates towards my parents, and of course they're going to be a little biased, but they're trying to be there for her as much as possible. So, I mean, it's, you know, no tear either way. They just want what's best for both of us.
Okay. Does it maybe make you a little uncomfortable that she reaches out to your family for support, or is that something that you're willing to give to her since she doesn't have the support system that you do?
No, I love the fact that she, well, finally, after all these years, but I like the fact that she does reach out to my parents, and, you know, my mom especially, because they love her for who she is, you know, but they just have come, and I guess, you know, I have too, but have just come to the conclusion that we're just not good for each other, you know. She's not a bad person whatsoever, but yeah, just it saddens me that it's taken this long for her to do that, to get that support, because I feel like it would have been easier for her.
Can you tell me what it was like when you came out to your family? Were they supportive initially, or did they have to warm up to the idea?
Well, I didn't really come out to my family. Like, Tiff and I started dating. Like I said, it was, you know, there was a stereotype. The second date for a lesbian couple is a U-Haul. And that's really what happened, you know. So it was just, you know, it was posted on Facebook, and it just was what it was. And so when I actually did sit down and talk to my dad about it, he was understanding, but I think kind of deep down, he knew that I wasn't gay. You know, he knew that I loved her for who she was, because I would never be with another woman. You know, my mother calls me a serial monogamous, so it was the fact that she was there kind of at that time in my life that I needed someone, and regardless of what was between their legs, you know, it just so happened to be her. So my family was supportive, but I think still to this day they, you know, kind of had that whole, not like I told you so, but kind of I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, there was never any negativity behind it. You know, it was kind of like, your happiness is my happiness. So whatever it is that you do is what you do. You know. So,
Okay. Earlier you touched on coming back to school as being overwhelming. Can you tell me a little bit about what contributes to that?
Just at the moment, trying to just emotionally grasp the fact that, you know, I'm having to give up this beautiful home that I purchased, you know, and worked so hard for. You know, kind of that life that I saw myself having at one point. And so I think with that on top of, you know, school is not so demanding, but, you know, there are moments when you have a presentation and you can't really focus on what you're doing because of other situations. But I think that would probably be the most overwhelming part, just trying to move and get to class on time and still do my assignments and, you know, succeed at them. I don't want to do a half-assed job, but, you know, it's kind of tough to kind of have my focus 100%.
Okay. Can you tell me maybe what strategies you use when you get overwhelmed and stressed out to kind of manage your stress?
Have a beer. Go out with my friends and whatever. Go to the casino, hit up the roulette table, and have a beer. And then I go home and, you know, get on my work or get a good night's sleep. But I just kind of have to take myself away from the house and kind of being in that environment. So I think it's good that I'm moving out, able to be on my own, so that I can focus 100% on what it is that I'm wanting to do.
Okay. Let's touch on what you would like to get from therapy. What are your goals that you have in mind?
Maybe to understand on a deeper level why I feel the way that I feel, like the reason behind my feelings as far as being selfish. You know, is it really an individual battle, or are there other variables that are making me feel this way? You know, because I understand I'm responsible for my own feelings, but as far as acknowledging those feelings and knowing how to cope with them, you know, in a positive way. So.
Okay. As your counselor, what would you expect from me? Keep in mind, I'm not here to give you advice. I just need you to tell me how I can help you. That's my role. I'm the helper. So what ways can I help you best?
Be it that you don't give advice, I would say just insight into the situation, kind of looking at it from the outside, you know, because I go through it every day. So to have someone who's, you know, non-judgmental and who's not biased, kind of allowing me to put everything on the table, but then know what cards to play.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
As your counselor, I see myself as being a helper. Like I said, I'm not here to give you advice. I will do my best to provide an outsider's perspective to your situation. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to pick sides with anybody. If you wanted to maybe bring in your spouse for a session, I would of course go with confidentiality with her and explain to her the situation, if that's something you guys would like to do. Not here to pick sides, like I said, so I wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is your space, so it would be your choice to allow her in here. But if you'd like to do that, then maybe I could give you both a little more perspective on the situation and how you both are handling it. So that's your choice. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up for today, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
How are we doing on time? Crap.